gewählte Rufnummer ist zurzeit nicht erreichbar. Auf Wiederhören.
The number you have called is not reachable.
Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
Hi, Sally,
Hi.
welcome.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Daniela, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. And you?
Great. I'm good. I've just made you a presenter, so you can
Okay.
share your screen at any time. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. All right, sure. Are we using the VM today?
No. This is a different
This
thing. This is threat intelligence seminar that
This
we
is
do.
just a seminar.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
today, Madam Sally is going to take us through the seminar.
Okay.
Yeah.
Woo.
So we are only going to sit
Okay.
and then listen to her. At the end of the day, if you have any question, we can also ask, and then it will be taken care of.
All
Mhm.
right. All right.
Shafui, are you going to play the video, the mandatory video at 11?
No, I should do it from here.
Yeah, please do it from your side, and then afterwards you can give me the.
All right, then that's fine. That's fine. That's okay. Hope you can see my screen. Okay, so then let me just. We left it only 7 minutes. Let's see. Oh. Give him a minute. Okay, I'm just about to start playing the mandatory training as we've been doing always. So once again, those of us present here, you're welcome to our weekly threat intelligence seminar. I hope you can all hear me. Hello.
Yes, we
Yes,
can.
please.
Hello. Great. So, well, welcome to our threat intelligence seminar. So, as we've been doing always, we start with the mandatory training, and then we leave the floor to the resource person for the day to take us through the presentation. So, we're going to start with the mandatory training.
Marriott Starwood Hotels recently announced an ongoing data breach lasting 4 years that exposed the personal information of up to 500 million of its customers. The long-term cost to the company is projected to be in the billions.
Chamonix? Yeah, that's where we were gonna go wait things out for a little while. See, Nico's got this fantasy about wine tasting in Chamonix. I mean, you believe that? Him?
How about you start from the beginning?
All right, okay. So, say it was about a year ago, maybe more. I got this urgent text from Nico. Said he wanted to see me, so I went over there.
Oh, this is good.
I got here as soon as I could.
Do the letters MDM mean anything to you?
MDM, as in mobile device management, the software IT departments use to manage and secure their employees' laptops, tablets, and smartphones. Also known as our worst nightmare because it blocks guys like us from hacking employee-owned devices. No, I know nothing about it.
Oh, well, you mean it used to block guys like us? Just got my hands on an MDM tool that will allow us to bypass any company's MDM system.
Oh, my man.
Not only that, but a little birdie told me that the company he works for, Moontree Resorts, is updating their MDM software this weekend. He even took a screenshot of the email that went out to the application development team. Sent to him. He also gave me every employee's mobile number who's part of the dev team.
Always helps have someone on the inside.
Yep. So here's what Saturday every member of the dev team link to our MDM software. Once they click the link installing it, those phones are owned.
We'll have access to every file stored on their devices.
And we can exfiltrate all of it to our MDM server, and they'll never know the difference.
Wait a minute. If they have up-to-date antivirus software on their phones,
Then it's no dice. We're not in.
and if they stayed on top of updating their phone's operating system,
Same thing. No dice. But what are the chances all 75 of these development people have AV and updated their phones? 0. In fact, some developers think patching breaks things, so they never do it. Plus, how many people have antivirus software on their phone? Almost none.
well then, let's let her rip.
And the plan almost worked. Out of curiosity, how many users had both their operating system up to date and antivirus installed and up to date, since that would have been the surefire way to stop you guys?
More than we anticipated, actually. Turns out those IT guys were more diligent than we gave them credit for. But it only took one to get the information we needed. We eventually pulled passwords from a text document off the phones, used them to breach the Moontree network and steal their most sensitive records. Boom. I mean, we were home free. Just about to cash in.
Unfortunately, Nico made the mistake of building your MDM server with an IP address that traced back to you. And now here you are, ratting him out.
Yeah. So, what happens next? I mean, where to from here?
That, my friend, is up to the prosecutor. But I can tell you this, it's not going to involve wine tasting, and it's certainly not going to involve Chamonix.
Yeah, no Chamonix.
Let's play it once more.
Marriott Starwood Hotels recently announced an ongoing data breach lasting 4 years that exposed the personal information of up to 500 million of its customers. The long-term cost to the company is projected to be in the billions.
Chamonix? Yeah, that's where we were gonna go wait things out for a little while. See, Nico's got this fantasy about wine tasting in Chamonix. I mean, you believe that? Him?
How about you start from the beginning?
All right, okay. So, say it was about a year ago, maybe more. I got this urgent text from Nico. Said he wanted to see me, so I went over there.
Oh, this is gonna be good. Real good.
Hey, what's up? I got here as soon as I could.
Do the letters MDM mean anything to you?
MDM, as in mobile device management, the software IT departments use to manage and secure their employees' laptops, tablets, and smartphones. Also known as our worst nightmare because it blocks guys like us from hacking employee-owned devices. No, I know nothing about it.
Oh, well, you mean it used to block guys like us. Just got my hands on an MDM tool that will allow us to bypass any company's MDM system.
Oh, my man.
Not only that, but a little birdie told me that the company he works for, Moontree Resorts, is updating their MDM software this weekend. He even took a screenshot of the email that went out to the application development team and sent it to me. He also gave me every employee's mobile number who's part of the app dev team.
Always helps to have someone on the inside.
Yep. So here's what I'm thinking. Saturday morning, we text message every member of the app dev team a link to our MDM software. Once they click the link installing it, those phones are owned.
We'll have access to every file stored on their devices.
And we can exfiltrate all of it to our MDM server, and they'll never know the difference.
Wait a minute. If they have up-to-date antivirus software on their phones,
then it's no dice. We're not in.
And if they stayed on top of updating their phone's operating system,
same thing. No dice. But what are the chances all 75 of these development people have AV and updated their phones? 0. In fact, some developers think patching breaks things, so they never do it. Plus, how many people have antivirus software on their phone? Almost none.
Well then, let's let it rip.
And the plan almost worked. Out of curiosity, how many users had both their operating system up to date and antivirus installed and up to date, since that would have been the surefire way to stop you guys?
More than we anticipated, actually. Turns out those IT guys were more diligent than we gave them credit for. But it only took one to get the information we needed. We eventually pulled passwords from a text document off the phones, used them to breach the Moontree network and steal their most sensitive records. Boom. I mean, we were home free. Just about to cash in.
Unfortunately for you, Nico made the mistake of building your MDM server with an IP address that traced back to you. And now here you are, ratting him out.
Yeah. So, what happens next? I mean, where to from here?
That, my friend, is up to the prosecutor. But I can tell you this, it's not going to involve wine tasting, and it's certainly not going to involve Chamonix.
Yeah, no Chamonix.
Okay, no Chamonix. We are just going to go straight to the quiz. And then I've already answered them, but we can restart it and then we'll take it again. Okay, so is a true or false question? The first one says true or false. Device software patches might have unanticipated bugs. So waiting is okay to make sure that nothing breaks down. So true or false, device software patches might have unanticipated bugs. So waiting is okay to make sure that nothing breaks down. True or false?
False.
False.
False. False, okay. So the next one, true or false, mobile devices cannot get viruses. So there is no need to run antivirus or antivirus software on your mobile device. Mobile devices
False.
cannot get viruses, so there's no need to get antivirus. False. False or true?
False.
Okay. False, okay. The next one is if a hacker gains access to your mobile device, any sensitive data stored there could easily be found and used for nefarious purposes. True or false?
True.
If, come again?
True. True.
True. Okay. The last one is updating mobile device software is time consuming. Putting off updates or ignoring them completely is fine as long as your device still works. True or false? Updating, false. Okay. Okay.
False.
Thank you. All right. So let's complete the quiz. Okay. Congratulations. It's 100% pass. So that is it for the mandatory training. So we are going to go back to themes where we have all the members here. Guys, you're welcome to our threat intelligence seminar. Today we have a very important personality. It's a she to take us through today's presentation on a very important topic as far as cybersecurity is concerned. So without wasting much time, I'm going to call on the resource person for the day. Madam Sally. Madam Sally, are you here?
Yes, I'm here.
So if you are here, I'm leaving the audience to you so you can start sharing your screen and then take us through.
Okay, thank you, Jeffrey.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Right. Okay, now can you see my screen?
No.
No?
No.
I think it's coming up.
Okay. Is it up yet? It's still coming.
If you want to stop sharing and redo it.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
We
No,
can see it now.
it's better now. Very good. Okay.
Yeah, it's good.
Beautiful. So yes, today my presentation is about vulnerability scanning. First, we ask what it is. Vulnerability scanning is basically you scanning and identifying vulnerabilities in IT assets. It is part of a larger vulnerability management program in IT or in cybersecurity. Excuse me. The vulnerability management is the process of you identify, you assess, you remediate vulnerabilities in IT systems and networks. So the scanning is just part of it, but it's a whole process that you have to go through to ensure your environment is safe. The reason why it is needed is that when you are able to, because vulnerabilities are the leading causes of cyber attacks, if you're able to identify and remediate vulnerabilities in your environment, it helps you reduce the risk of being attacked and breached. It also gives you visibility into your environment, and which gives you insight into your security posture, which is how well or how not well you can respond to threats or incidents in your environment. Vulnerability management is also needed for compliance sake. If you are if you have to be compliant with PCI DSS, that if you take people's card information, credit card information, or financial information of some sort, you are required to be compliant. That is, you have to follow certain rules or set in place, and one of them is actually having scans or having some form of vulnerability management in your environment, so that you are constantly assessing your environment, identifying threats, vulnerabilities in your environment, and always remediating it. So that's another reason for having a vulnerability management program. And also, if you're a company and you have shareholders, you have customers, you have partners, having a vulnerability management also helps you project credibility or confidence. If they know that, okay, this person or the company does scans, vulnerability scans, they're always identifying, assessing, or looking for risk in the environment and remediating it. It gives them the confidence that, okay, at least they take these procedures and precautions to make their environment secure. So that is why one would undertake a vulnerability management program. The vulnerability management it consists of usually 6. When you read online, you see many. Some say 4, some say 5, but they all basically have the same roots or same bone in there somewhere. So first you start with your asset discovery. This is where you have a full asset inventory of your organization's network, everything in your network, all the devices, everything service, you have an inventory of it. If you don't have inventory, then how do you know there's a weakness in an asset if you don't know that you even have that asset? So having the asset inventory, discovering it is very important. And you also develop a baseline program for identifying vulnerabilities on these assets. And then you set up automated scans. This is where the scanning comes into place. Usually you discovering your assets and then you scanning them. And the second one being you prioritize, categorize based on criticality. So you give each asset group its criticality. If some assets are more critical than others, in your company, you probably would need, you say, oh, this server is really important to me, so I'm going to put it as a very critical asset. Maybe compared to a printer in some office, it wouldn't be as critical to you. So yes, you prioritize the assets, and then you you do the assessment. That's the third part. You assess your assets to understand the risk profile of each asset. It allows you to determine which risk to eliminate first, based on a variety of factors, which includes criticality and vulnerability threats as well. And after you're done with your assessment, you document, basically reporting is the documentation part of it. You document what is going to be done next, because after the scanning and everything, it's going to spit out reports to you and everything. So in that, you see what you're supposed to do next. Some of the reports, it will tell you what you're supposed to do next. So it will show you whatever vulnerabilities that was found, the criticality of it, or how likely it's to be exploited or something like that, and it will give you remediations. Not all, but some of them you have how to remediate it. And next step, you go to the remediation. For the remediation, you can either remediate, which is you fully fix or patch vulnerabilities. If you're not able to fully patch or fix the vulnerabilities, you can mitigate it, which is you reduce or you decrease the possibility of exploitation, or you minimize the potential damage should the vulnerability be exploited. And then you can either also choose to accept, you could choose to accept the vulnerability, which is you say, okay, the risk to this vulnerability is not that high, so I'm not going to do anything about it. And then you just leave it be, because even if it's exploited, it's really not going to affect you much. So you accept that. And then after that, it's the continuous monitoring and auditing. After the remediation has been done, you have to go back and do scans again to see that it's actually been done. And you just keep on monitoring the environment, and you repeat the process again of scanning, and seeing what threats are in your environment, because threats are popping up every day. Every single day, they're new. You hear on the news, this company has been breached, this company has been hacked, whatever. Because the threat actors, they never sleep. They're constantly working. So it means companies also have to be on their foot to make sure they're also watching their environment and fixing any vulnerabilities that they have. So let's see. The types of, there are types of vulnerability scans. There are many, but most of them will fall under either they're authenticated or unauthenticated. The authenticated scans means you require credentials to be able to do those scans, because some assets will be hidden or inaccessible if you don't have authentication credentials, But if you have authentication credentials, then you can scan some assets. When you doing the authenticator scans, you might have you might be able to detect misconfiguration, missing patches and vulnerabilities that are not visible externally. If you're doing an authenticator scan, anyone can do a port scan. Not that you should do it, but there are scans that you do that you don't need authentication into a system to do it. You can just sit anywhere and do it. So those are unauthenticated scans, and under that, you could have different types of scans. You could have port scanners. You could have web application scanners, network, scanners, host-based scanners, and database scanners, and many more. But all this, you either have to have like authentication. You have to have you have to be able to have credentials to be able to access some systems, and some you do not. And also, if you're a company and you're going to scan something, you should probably make sure you are able to scan everything. You use all these other types of scan, whether it's port scanning, web application scanning, network scanning. You have to make sure that your whatever tool that you have can do that, because you want to have visibility into everything. You want to see everything, and not just part of your environment. So the vulnerability scanners, they work by they scan your environment, and then they what do you call it, compare it to a database. So well, it starts with your asset inventory. First, you have to have something that you want to scan. So if you're looking at this picture here, it's everything in your environment, everything in your local network and your computer, your IDS, IPS, your firewalls, smartphone switches, everything in the cloud, your servers. Yes, you scan it. Whatever scanner you're using, you scan it. You scan the network, the hardware, the software, the systems to identify potential risk, just an attack vectors. And then afterward, it compares with a vulnerability database. We have like, I think MITRE has a vulnerability database, and I'm sure NIST has a vulnerability database as well. So once the scanner scans, it compares with this database to see if those vulnerabilities are in their database. And then once that is done, the scanner will just it will classify. So it's going to detect and classify the system weakness, and it will identify the vulnerabilities that attackers could exploit once it's compared to the database that has the common vulnerabilities and exposures. And once that is done, the scanner will create reports on the vulnerabilities and how to fix them, and also help your organization prioritize their efforts. Obviously, if a vulnerability has very high risk of being exploited, it's going to get like high marks. The MITRE has their vulnerabilities and exposures, common risk and vulnerabilities and exposures. I think it has their marks for a vulnerability is from 1, I think 1 to 10. If the mark on there is 10, it means it's likely, like the risk, the chance of it being exploited is very high. So you have to fix those ones first. Then if the mark on a vulnerability is like 0 or 1 or 2, something like that. And then once that is done, you then send a report to the remediation group. In companies, it is likely that the person who does the scanning, will be different from the person who will be doing the remediation. Like the one who scans will not be the one doing the remediation as well. So after the scanning is done, they probably write up a ticket and they send it to the remediation group. Like, okay, hey, these are the vulnerabilities we found in the systems and the networks. So you fix it. Like, the report will also show how to fix the vulnerabilities. Mostly, it will tell you some vulnerabilities might not have fixes yet. When the ones that have fixes, it will be included in the reports. So after that, the remediation team will take it up, and they will go ahead and fix the vulnerabilities. let's see, some of the vulnerabilities that can be found, when you do a scan. The common ones would be like misconfigured systems, meaning a system has not been configured well, which poses a risk. Outdated softwares. I know many of us, we know even on our cell phones, we're prompted to update our operating systems when new updates are there. If you don't update, the risk of vulnerabilities in that system will pose a risk to you. Somebody can just exploit whatever vulnerabilities on there. And if your system is not updated, then that's an issue. We have weak passwords. The scanner can also detect weak passwords as well. If your password is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it's going to show up. Or if your password is password, yes, it's also going to show up. And you also have open ports and services. And usually, if you're doing the network scans, the scanner will pick up all the ports that are open. Not all ports have to be open. There are some that have to be open, like for the internet, like HTTP or HTTPS. Those ones have to be open, but for others, it has to be closed. And you can't just leave it open. Leaving it open, it leaves you open for attackers to just walk right in. And then you sometimes you also find missing patches. The vulnerability is there. There's been patches put out already, but the company didn't apply the patches. And insecure misconfigurations as well. You have configuring systems, and you're not doing it well. Yes, you're just misconfiguring it. And then we have default credentials. Usually when you buy, for example, when you go buy a router, it will say, okay, the username and the password will be admin for both of them, and you have to change it when you buy it. And many people don't change it. The username and the password will still be admin. You open yourself up for threat actors to just walk right in and get into your networks. And insecure protocols like TLS and SSL, we have versions of it. So if you're using an old version of those, that is an issue. And the scanner is going to detect all of these things, and then it's going to print up, in the report is going to show you how to fix all of these things. But first of all, you have to scan, your scanner has to be able to scan all these. Because as I mentioned earlier, there are many types: the port scan, the application code scan, the what do you call it, the network scan, and all those things. You have to have a scanner that can do all of that, and not just part. There are many tools on the market that you can use to scan. We have a commercial and or open source commercials. Commercial scanners, you have to pay for it. Open source too, some you have to pay for it, but some are free. Usually when people talk open source, they're thinking it's free, but not necessarily the case. There are some open source tools or applications that are not free. And open source meaning the source code is there for anyone to see. What the source code is. For the commercial ones, the source code is it's not open for everybody to see. It's proprietary information for the company, so it's not open for all to see. And yes, you have to pay it. We have Kwali's guide. I think I suppose got wrong. Kwame, the one we use for the class, we have Kwali's. So I'm going to use that to just demonstrate how to do a scan. And then you have Nessus, Sentinel, OpenVIS, and Nmap Plus folders. And these are all on the market. And if you're a company, you just have to research all of them and see what it can do for you before you get it. We have the challenges of using scanners. As I stated, the scanners use database. They scan your environment and they check it against the database. If the database is outdated, then it means you're not up to date, using outdated information. So that leaves you open. If you have a database of vulnerabilities, you want to make sure it's up to date so that when you scan the systems, you'll be able to say, okay, these are the new vulnerabilities and exposures in the system, and I am up to date. The scanner is up to date. If the scanner is not up to date on these things, then it performs, it becomes an issue. And also the scanning also, it uses resources. Like when you scan it, it puts a lot of drag on your network performances. So that means that you can't just be doing the scan every 2 seconds. Your network is going to have issues if you're constantly doing that. So you have to just check. You make sure you are doing your scan at some appropriate times, times where it wouldn't be a drag on your whole network. And then you do it, the scan. Some companies have maybe weekly scan or daily scans, monthly scans, dependent. Whatever you choose to do, you just have to know that it's going to have issues on the network. So you keep that in mind. And for my last, I'm going to do a scan. I'm going to do a scan using the VMware or my VMware to virtual machine to demonstrate how to do the scan. So if you give me a minute, I will get to it. Okay. I'll share. Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Very good. Yes, so this is the virtual machine. Okay. Yes, so we have the Qualys vulnerability management tool. The companies use it to do their vulnerability management, and they can do scans and everything whatever that they want to do. They use that to do it. Let's see. Yeah. Okay. You're looking at this dashboard. It shows vulnerabilities in the environment, like the networks and everything. It says over the whatever past 30 days, there are like 355 open vulnerabilities, and there'd been 766 that has been fixed. So this is a dashboard. Whatever tool you get, after it scans, it'll show you a dashboard of the vulnerabilities like in your environment. And of course, it scores it as well, you know, telling you whether if it's high risk or low. Yes. So before you do a scan, you have to specify what asset you want to scan. So let's see. So I have to choose my asset that I want to scan. In this case, I just want to scan my computer. So it means I have to add it, my IP. So I come to assets, I come to address management, and then I add my IP. So I come to subscription IPs. I leave this one, the default network, the global default, I leave it as it is. And then I type in my IP 68.6. Yes. So in a company, you're not just going to have one computer. You have like thousands of computers. You have routers, everything, servers, everything in your environment. They all have IPs, and you have to have that there. So for this one, for this demonstration, I'm just using my single device, and this is my IP. And then the vulnerability management, I select that, and then I say add. So my IP gets added. Yes, it was 115. Yes, it's been added over here, 115. It's given me a range, 115, 116. So now that I've added my IP, I can just set up the scan. So for that, I'll come to scan. And then I press on scan. And I want to do a new scan. So I'll come to new, scan. And here I give it a title of, for the scan. I'll say practice 2. And for these other stuff, I leave it alone, like the profile, the processing priorities, I leave it be. The network default, I just leave it be. And when it comes to scanner appliance, I have to pick an appliance. So I don't know which one is working, so I just choose all the appliances. So yes, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then when I come here, I type in my IP again. If I'd put in my asset in a group, then I could choose from an asset group, but I didn't put it in a group. So I'm just going to use my IP again. Six. Yes, and here I don't want to exclude anything. and I wanted to send me a notification when it's done. So just ask you what to include in your the email notification that will be sent to you once the scan is done. You can choose anything you want to. It's gonna say practice scan to you. You want to add a message, you can, but you don't have to. And then I hit yes, launch. So next it's going to scan. Okay. So if you come back to the scan screen, the practice scan 2 that I just put in, it says it's been queued. So the application is going to just scan my device and everything in there, and it's going to tell me the vulnerabilities that I have. I did a scan yesterday. It took about 15 minutes, and then it was finished. I don't know. I don't want to sit here for 15 minutes waiting for the scan to be done. And imagine in an enterprise environment, in a company where you have thousands of devices, it takes a while for a scan to be done. So yes, that's why I was talking about the drag. Like, you know, it'll put it'll ask for like resources, it will ask for it'll require, resources to do the scan. Imagine if you're doing it in a big environment with a lot of devices. Just my one computer took 15 minutes. So I'm just going to load up the one that I did last night to see what the report says. Okay. So here it says, yes, it gives me a summary of the host. And then the appliances user was 1, and then it tells me the vulnerabilities, aggregate of 5. You can view the results. It generates in the report. Right, so here it is. So this will be the result. A report that comes up after the scan is done, and then it will tell you, the time and everything. Yes, this is my IP. That's what it scanned, whatever is in there. And then it shows us the vulnerabilities that it found. I think it says what? This is by severity. And there's really not much. I just found one here for the severity. The potential, the potential of, I think, it being exploited, something like that. And then it tells me where it's scanned, the TCP IPs, SMB and NetBIOS and Windows, everything that is scanned is just telling me. And if we found anything, it would just tell me what it found. Here, we come down here. It says there's a vulnerability here, and it's saying the score is like 2, level 2. You click on it, you could see what it's telling you, like what it is about. It says that the threat is unauthorized users can obtain this host NetBIOS server name from a remote system, and the impact of this vulnerability. They can obtain a list of NetBIOS on your server, NetBIOS servers on your network. And basically, it's just showing attackers will have access to your environment. And it says there's no malware information attached to this vulnerability. So let's see if it'll give us information about these other vulnerabilities that it found, And this is not red, it's yellow. So if it's red, if it was red, okay, you have to remediate it, put the remediation in place as soon as possible. And when it's yellow, yes, it's a vulnerability, but it's not as high, like a threat, something like that. And you can take your time to do it. I know in companies, they're taking something like maybe 30 days for the higher risk ones, the vulnerabilities. And if it's medium to low, it's taking anywhere from 30 to 90 days, depending. And some never gets fixed because I guess it's really low. Yes, so these are the scans that it did. It says, you see how it says authenticated scans, because you need credentials, or I needed credentials to be able to do the scans. Yeah, so it scanned all of these ports, those. Yep, these ones are off. If something is off, it means I guess it didn't scan it, but for everything that is not off, it will scan and it will tell you disabled, enabled, or if it's disabled, normal. So yes, so this is the report. Let's see. Yeah, so for this, I'm not seeing the fixes for the remediation. But usually it'll have how to fix it.
Where are you reading this from? Are you reading this from is it the assets, or are you reading it? Where are you reading the report from? Because in there should be the fixes.
Yeah. Okay. This one I'm reading it from. I picked this one from, yes, on the scans page.
All right. So could you go to VMDR at the top?
VMDR.
And then scroll through. Let's go to assets. What is it? The one that says asset something?
The asset view?
No, there's another one. Legacy.
Yes, it's asset view, and then it says legacy.
Okay, click on that one. And then click on assets. Then look for the asset you're trying to find its report. So you can actually do IP, or you could do the asset name if you know it. Did it show up?
Let's see.
Click on search. It should show up in search.
Here. Okay, let me try the IP and see what happens.
Try the IP. Let's see. Yeah.
Well, yesterday when I did it, I deleted
the IP.
Yes, and then I did it.
The moment you do that, everything that you had on there is gone.
Okay, so now it means I have to let it finish scanning before it can print up a new report.
If you want to evaluate the
right.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So well, our time is up, but usually it will tell you how to fix the vulnerabilities as well. So this is how you do a vulnerability scan in an enterprise environment. In an enterprise environment, you have to know that you're scanning a lot of devices. So yes, it will take a while. It will bring up a whole lot of vulnerabilities that they found in all your devices. And then once that is done, it's passed on to the remediation group for them to fix it. And the scans are important, as I stated in the beginning. It just gives you visibility into your environment. If you don't know that if you don't know the weaknesses in your system, you can't protect it, and threat actors can just walk in and just wreak havoc on your environment. See, this is why you're seeing on the news every day companies being hacked, being breached. It's their environment is not secure, or it's not fully protected. Okay, so thank you for coming to my presentation. If you have any questions, I can answer them for you.
I think I'll go first.
Okay.
So in a situation where one wants to say onboard their assets into the Qualys platform, how are they able to determine their own IP address if they don't know how to do that?
Good. So for me, I went to look for my IP address down here because I got a new virtual machine because mine was acting up. So you found me a new one. So I right click on the start icon down here, and then I went to systems, I believe. Yes. Then I went to systems, and then it told me my lab name here. So I knew my lab name. We're looking for the IP. I went to, where did I go? Was it network? Systems. Let me go back home. Yes, I went to the network. And then I clicked on the properties. And then it showed me my IP address over here. And yes, and the gateway and the yes. So this is how I knew my IP used.
Okay, there's also another easier way of doing this. How about you try going to the CMD and then you do IP config from there. Let's see what happens.
Yes, CMD is the command online interface. And then I do IP config.
IP config. Mm-hmm.
Yes, okay. Perfect.
All right, so this is much easier and straightforward than to go through.
Through the system, okay.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
Yes, so yes, the IP config is showing you your IP address, which is here as well. Yes. Okay.
All right, that's it for me. I don't have any more questions.
Perfect. Does anyone have questions? If not,
I do.
okay, go ahead.
Okay, so you mentioned to us the advantages of running the scans.
Right.
And then you also mentioned that based on companies' recommendation, they could do a daily scan, weekly scan, or a monthly scan.
Right.
What would you recommend? Because I heard you mention that for the daily one as well, there could be some lagging in the system. So what would you recommend for
Well, yes, it would depend on the company, really. Like, Threat actors are really coming up with stuff all the time. You could have a system where you're probably doing the scans when there isn't so much going on in the network, like maybe after work or something like that. If you're a company that works 24 hours, then you probably have to dedicate more resources, where you could do scan during working hours. But you have to have resources that can withstand use scanning without causing lagging issues. But for me, if we're up to me, if your company doesn't do 24 hours, where people are closing at 5 o'clock or something like that, you could do it after work, or you could do it at times where the work volume is down, so that you don't cause issues. I don't know if Kwame would recommend something else.
No, you're absolutely right. Mostly what organizations do is they actually set up their scans to run on a weekends. Like it may start like maybe a Friday night,
Mhm.
and then before Monday morning, these scans are done. And so people come in Monday morning and then they evaluate the scan. So yeah, all these are done over the weekend. So if some of the servers needs to be rebooted and all that, they're done over the weekend. And so by the time we come back on Monday, all these servers are working. So you're right.
All right, thank you.
Mhm. Welcome. Yes, any more questions? If there aren't any questions, I can hand you over to Shafwi if he has any more announcements. But thank you again for coming to my presentation.
Okay, thank you very much, Sally,
Thank
for
you.
this wonderful presentation. I think looking at Sally and other people who have presented previously and those who will be coming gives us much hope that South Africa is indeed doing marvelously well. So we've opened the session for any question from the participant, from the but it seems like there isn't any much questions. So Sally, you've done marvelously well, and South Africa is really, really proud of you. So I'm going to hand you over to Boss for his final, wrap up, and then we'll just go to Janet, and then we'll close the session. So thank you very much once again, guys, for coming. So Boss, it's a 10.
All right, thank you, Shafi. I think, like you said, Sally did a great job, except that we didn't get a chance to see what the scans look like. But then, yeah, if you have access to Qualys, for those who are already in the class, you can always reach out and we can actually show you how this is done if you're curious about it. Yeah, she did a great job and I'm very proud of her. And I'm looking forward to others who haven't also presented yet to take certain roles or certain tasks in what we've learned and then also come and show the rest of the public what you've learned. I'll be very happy to see many of you guys coming up to actually show us what you've learned in class. That's all I have. Thank you.
Yeah, sorry, the scan is still running. You see, it says running, so
Yeah, no worries. No worries about it.
Yeah.
it takes a bit.
Yeah, we can see that. Madam Janet, are you around?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, good.
Right. Thank you, Shafwi. Sally, thank you so much for taking today and giving us that great insight in vulnerability management. You did great.
Thank you.
Yeah, and thank you so much for everyone who is here present for our event. I can see a number of guests present. I would love to acknowledge every one of you. Let me do my best. Get your names. So I see Bernard. I see Incredible Terry. I see Kojo. Yeah, I see Mike. I see Nephew. I don't want to miss anyone. So Nathaniel and Stanley. A super welcome to all of you. So we are Soft Afrique, a leading cybersecurity educational provider. What do we offer? We offer you nothing but the best. And because of our state-of-the-art virtual learning environment, our students get to enjoy the best from us. They enjoy every nitty-gritty and get to know the technical know-hows of cybersecurity. If you have anything cybersecurity on mind or need anything cybersecurity, just consider us and consult us. We'll get you sorted. Yes, so this happens every Wednesday. We want everyone here to share the word and invite a friend. See you next week. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.